Dear students, today's topic of my lecture, Ray Optics, Chapter 9, Part 3. So what you have to learn in this Part 3 of Chapter Ray Optics, that is here. The first I will explain spherical refracting surfaces, then refraction at convex surface, after that refraction at concave surface, then we will derive the formula for Lensmaker's formula that we call. After that, thin lens formula that we have to derive, and at last I will explain power of a lens. So one by one you can see it. The first one is spherical refracting surface. So spherical refracting surface can be defined as a spherical refracting surface basically is a part of a sphere of refracting material. A refracting surface which is convex towards the rarer medium is called the convex refracting surface, and a refracting surface which is concave towards the rarer medium is called concave refracting surface, and both the surfaces are shown here. The first one is convex refracting surface and second one is concave refracting surface, and here AB is a principal axis, or more precise way we can say that APCB is the principal axis and C is the center of curvature, that is the center of the sphere of refracting material of which it is a part. P is pole of refracting surface, R radius of curvature, that is the distance between pole and center of curvature. So this is about spherical refracting surfaces. Now before finding the formula for the spherical refracting surfaces, we have to take some assumptions. The first one is object is the point object lying on the principal axis. Second one is incident and the refracted rays makes small angles with the principal axis. So that's why we have to take sin I approximately equal to I, sin R approximately equal to R. The aperture, that is the diameter of the curved surface, is also small. Now before driving we must know that sign conventions. So first one is the incident ray is taken from left to right. It means the object is placed on the left side. Second one is all the distances are measured from the pole of the refracting surface. You remember it. And third one is the distances measured along the direction of incident ray are taken as positive and against the incident ray are taken as negative. Fourth one, the vertical distances measured from principal axis in the upward direction are taken as positive and in the downward direction are taken as negative. So these sign conventions and assumptions we have to remember while we are driving a formula in case of refraction at spherical surfaces. So first we are taking here refraction at convex surface, and which is takes place from rarer medium to denser medium, and in that condition a real image is formed. So you see the ray diagram of it. This is a convex surface and there are two medium, that is on left side rarer medium, on right is denser medium. They are having the refractive index mu1 and mu2. This is a principal axis Now a point object we have taken at point O. So first ray from the point object O, that incident normally along OP on the spherical surface, which is a convex surface, and that passes straight. Another ray that incident along OA on the convex surface makes an angle I with normal. Normal is NAC, and then it gets refracted. Since it is the reflection from rarer to denser, so the refracted ray AI, which bends towards the normal, makes an angle R and meet the first reflected ray at point I. Then I is the real image of the point object O. Now we drop a perpendicular on principal axis from point A, that is AM. Now we are assuming the angle AOM equal to alpha. Similarly, AIM equal to beta. Same way, ACM equal to gamma. And this PC distance is equal to the radius of curvature. And generally we mention the object distance by U and image distance by V. So PO is the object distance, PI is the image distance, PC is radius of curvature. Now according to the Snell's law, since the reflection is taking place, so according to the Snell's law, sin I upon sin R equal to mu2 upon mu1. That is the refractive index of second medium with respect to the first medium. That is denser medium to rarer medium. Since we are saying that the angle, already we have taken the assumption, angle made by the incident ray and the refracted ray with principal axis is very small. That's why sin I approximately equal to I, sin R approximately equal to R. So we can write I upon R equal to mu2 upon mu1. So simplify it, then we can write mu1 I equal to mu2 R. Mark this equation number 1. Now we have to calculate I and R. So for that purpose, we take a triangle OAC. That we also say that object triangle. So in OAC triangle, you see that angle I is the exterior angle and alpha and beta are the alpha and gamma are the interior angle. So apply the property of the mass. Sum of the interior angle is equal to the exterior angle. So that's why I equal to alpha plus gamma. Similarly, we take another triangle. That one is triangle IAC, which is called image triangle. In triangle IAC, you can see that R plus beta equal to gamma. Gamma is the exterior angle and R and beta are the interior angle. So we say that gamma equal to R plus beta, rearrange it, then we get R equal to gamma minus beta. Now you substitute these values of I and R in equation number 1, then what you will get, mu1 within bracket alpha plus gamma equal to mu2 within bracket gamma minus beta. Mark this equation number 2. Then from the diagram you calculate tan alpha, that is tan alpha equal to, in this triangle OAM, tan alpha equal to AM upon MO. Similarly, you can say that since angle is very small, so that's why tan alpha is approximately equal to alpha. So we can write alpha equal to MA upon MO. Same way find out the tan beta. So tan beta equal to MA upon MI. That is, you have to take the triangle AMI. So in it, tan beta equal to AM upon I. And tan beta approximately equal to beta. Therefore, the beta equal to MA upon MI. Similarly, tan gamma in triangle AMC. So tan gamma equal to AM upon MC. Since angle is very small, so that's why tan gamma approximately equal to gamma. So gamma equal to MA upon MC. Now substitute these values of alpha, beta and gamma in equation number 2. Then equation 2 becomes mu1 within bracket in place of alpha am upon mo, in place of gamma am upon mc, and equal to mu2 within bracket in place of gamma am upon mc minus in place of beta am upon mi. Now am you take common from here, so when you take am common, then this am and am get cancelled. What you will get, mu1 within bracket 1 upon mo plus 1 upon mc, which is equal to mu2 within bracket 1 upon mc minus 1 upon mi. Now since aperture is very small, as already we have assumed it, so that's why m is approximately equal to p, that is pole. Therefore m is replaced by p in the above equation. So you will get mu1 within bracket 1 upon po plus 1 upon pc equal to mu2 within bracket 1 upon pc minus 1 upon pi, and you multiply mu1 and mu2 inside the brackets. So mu1 upon po plus mu1 upon pc equal to mu2 upon pc minus mu2 upon pi. Now you have to transfer mu2 upon pi from here right hand side to left hand side, and mu1 upon pc from left to right side. Then you will get mu1 upon po plus mu2 upon pi equal to mu2 upon pc minus mu1 upon pc. Then rearrange it, simplify it. Then mu1 upon po plus mu2 upon pi equal to, since pc is common, so mu2 minus mu1 upon pc. Mark this equation number 3. Now you apply the sign conventions and substitute the value of po, pi and pc. Since all distances that we have to measure from pole, so that's why the po is the distance of object which is in the opposite direction of the incident ray, so that's why it is negative. So po equal to minus u, and pi image distance which is in the direction of the incident ray, so that's why pi equal to plus v, and pc is the radius of curvature which is also in the direction of the incident ray, so pc equal to plus r. Substitute these values in equation 3, then equation 3 becomes mu1 upon minus u plus mu2 upon v equal to mu2 minus mu1 upon r. So this is the expression for the refraction from rarer to denser medium at convex spherical refracting surface. Similarly, we can find out an expression for the refraction at convex surface from rarer medium to denser medium, but the image is virtual. In earlier derivation, the image is real, but the formula will remain the same. You can see here the diagram, ray diagram. The object which we place now here near to the pole. You can see here, this is the object. So first ray that incident normally along PO on convex surface and passes straight. Another ray which incident along OA and get refracted but not meeting to the first refracted ray. So we extend it in back direction. Then it appears to come from point I. That's why I is the virtual image of the point object O, and the rest of things are the same. So you apply the same concept, find the expression, and you will get the same expression as you have find in case of the real image. Similarly, we have to find out the expression for the refraction at concave surface from rarer medium to the denser medium. So in that case, only the virtual image is formed. So you can see here the ray diagram. So in this ray diagram, the object is placed here and the first ray in the same way incident normally on the concave surface along PO and that passes straight. Another ray which incident along OA and after refraction it bends towards the normal but not meeting to the first refracted ray. So that's why we extend in back direction and appears to come from point I. Then I is the virtual image of point object O. And rest of things are the same as we performed in case of the convex surface. So apply the same concept and find out the result, and you see that whether you are having a convex surface or concave surface, result for the refraction from rarer medium to the denser medium remains the same, that is mu1 upon minus u plus mu2 upon v equal to mu2 minus mu1 upon r. Now the refraction at convex surface from denser to rarer medium for the real image. Then you see here in the ray diagram, object is placed in denser medium. You see here, and in the same way, apply the same concept. The first ray which incident along OP, that is normal incidence and passes straight, and second ray incident along OA, since it is denser to rarer, so the ray bend away from the normal and AC, that is along AI, and meet to the first refracted ray at point I. Then it is a real image of the point object O, and rest of things are the same as we have performed earlier. Apply the same concept and derive the expression, and that expression comes this mu2 upon minus u plus mu1 upon v equal to mu1 minus mu2 upon r. So you have to remember both the formulas, and that we will use further while we find an expression for the Lensmaker's formula. So you try yourself these derivations, apply the same concept which I explained earlier and find out the results. Similarly, the refraction at convex surface from denser to rarer medium for the virtual image, only the ray diagram gets changed and the rest of things are the same and the result is same. In the same manner, we find out the refraction at concave surface from denser medium to rarer medium. Always the virtual image is formed and the result is also the same as we derived in case of the convex surface. That is mu2 upon minus u plus mu1 upon v equal to mu1 minus mu2 upon r. So you have to remember these formulas, and that will be used in next derivation, that is Lensmaker's formula. And you try yourself so that you can practice it to find out the result, whether the same result is coming or not. Now here there are some important points. Expression for object in rarer medium is same for whether it is a real or virtual image or convex or concave surface. As I already told you, that is mu1 upon minus u plus mu2 upon v equal to mu2 minus mu1 upon r. Second point, expression for object in denser medium is same whether it is a real image or virtual or convex or concave. That is mu2 upon minus u plus mu1 upon v equal to mu1 minus mu2 upon r. So you have to remember these formulas also so that we can use in for driving the lens maker's formula. Third one is, however, the value of U, V, R, etc. must be taken with proper sign conventions while solving the numerical problems. So means these formulas you have to remember, and when you solve the numericals, then further you have to take the proper sign conventions so that the formula can be generalized. Remember these points. And the fourth point is the refractive indices mu1 and mu2 get interchanged in the expressions. So by that you can remember these formulas. As you see here, from rarer to denser, here is the mu1, and here when denser to the rarer medium, mu2. So indices get changed. Here mu2, then here mu1. Here mu2, mu1, mu1, mu2. So this is a way to remember these formulas. Now lens maker's formula. So for this lens maker's formula, you see the ray diagram. This we have taken a convex lens, and there are two medium. One is rarer, whose refractive index is mu1. Another one is the denser medium, whose refractive index is mu2. You can see here, this is mu2 and this one is rarer medium having the refractive index mu1. Then x p1y, x p2y are the aperture of the convex lens. C is the optical center. Now C1 and C2 are the center of curvature of the spherical refracting surface of which it is a part. So that's why P1 C1 is radius of curvature R1 and P2 C2 is the radius of curvature R2. Now a point object we have taken at point O, then a ray incident along OB, or we can say that OA, and it gets refracted since the lens is very thin, refracted along AB if there is no refracting surface xp2y, then it meet to the first refracted ray which incident along OP1 and passes straight at point I1. Then I1 is the real image of point object O. Remember it, when there is no second surface of the lens, that is xp2y. Just you have derived the formula and the ray diagrams you have understand. But in lens always there is a second surface, so xp2y should be there. So in that case what happens, the first ray which incident along OP1, that passes straight because it is a normal incidence. But the second ray which is incident along OA, now it get refracted along AB, and then here you see that this is the refraction from rarer to denser. Now when AB incident on xp2y, now the refraction from denser to rarer. So when refraction from denser to rarer, then the refracted ray move away from normal, and the normal is N2B C2. Earlier the normal is N1A C1. So when the ray incident along AB and refraction takes place from denser to rarer medium, then the ray get refracted further along BI and meet the first refracted ray at point I. Then I is the final real image of the point object O. And you see in the diagram, when the ray of light incident along OA, then it makes an angle I with the normal N1A C1, that is angle of incidence, and the ray which is refracted along BI, which makes an angle of refraction R. Since the aperture of the lens is very small, so that's why we assume here the P1 is approximately equal to C and P2 is also approximately equal to C. So in this case, the all distances we have to measure from the optical center of the lens. So that's why C1 is equal to R1 and C2 which is equal to R2. And this C1 is approximately equal to P1 C1 which is equal to R1. Similarly, this R2, in that case P2 C2 approximately equal to C2 which is equal to R2. So in case of lens, all distances that we have to measure from its optical center, and the rest of sign conventions are the same that as we have taken earlier. Means all distances in the direction of incident ray are taken as positive and vice versa. So now here you see that the first what happens, the refraction we have to consider at surface xp1y. xp1y. So this is the refraction from rarer medium to denser medium, and since the image is a real image because both the reflected rays are meeting at a point I1 in that case, so we are saying the distance from optical center to I1 is represented by V1. So that's why the formula which we are using, which you already derived, that is from refraction from rarer to denser medium, mu2 upon u minus mu1 upon, sorry, mu2 upon v minus mu1 upon u equal to mu2 minus mu1 upon r1. So in place of v, we are writing here v1. So mark this equation number 1. Similarly, now we take refraction on the surface xp2y. So in that condition, the refraction is from denser medium to rarer medium. So in that case, the formula that becomes mu1 upon v minus mu2 upon v1 means now here I1 becomes the virtual object for the real image V, that is at point I. So that's why we replace u by v1. So the formula that becomes mu1 upon v minus mu2 upon v1 equal to mu2 minus mu1 upon minus r2. In place of r, we have to write here r2. So mark this equation number 2. Now adding the equation 1 and 2, what you will get? Mu2 upon v1 minus mu1 upon u plus mu1 upon v minus mu2 upon v1 equal to mu2 minus mu1 upon r1 plus mu2 minus mu1 upon minus r2. Now rearrange it and simplify this equation. You have to take mu1 common, then inside the bracket you will get, this is mu1, so you take mu1 common, so 1 upon v minus 1 upon u, and since mu2 upon v1 and this is minus mu2 upon v1 and they get cancelled. and on right hand side you take common mu2 of minus mu1, and inside the bracket you will get 1 upon r1 minus 1 upon r2. Mark this equation number 3. If object is at infinite, say u equal to infinity, then image I will be formed at focus, that is v equal to f, that you already studied. So substitute these values, then equation 3 becomes mu1 within bracket 1 upon f. In place of v, we write f minus 1 upon infinite, that is u is at infinity. So in place of u, we write infinity, equal to mu2 minus mu1 within bracket 1 upon r1 minus 1 upon r2. So 1 upon infinite is 0. So that's why we can rearrange this equation and write 1 upon f minus 1 upon infinite equal to this mu1 you get transfer to the right hand side, that is mu2 minus mu1 upon mu1 within bracket 1 upon r1 minus 1 upon r2. So you will get 1 upon infinite is 0. So 1 upon f equal to 1 upon f equal to within bracket mu2 upon mu1 minus 1 within bracket 1 upon r1 minus 1 upon r2. Now we can write mu2 upon mu1 like mu21, that is refractive index of second medium with respect to first medium. So that equation becomes 1 upon f equal to mu21 minus 1 within bracket 1 upon r1 1 minus 1 upon r2. Mark this equation number 4. In general, we can write 1 upon f equal to mu minus 1, 1 upon r1 minus 1 upon r2 within a bracket, and mark as equation number 5. So this is known as the Lensmaker's formula. Basically, this formula is the relation between focal length, refractive index, and radii of curvature of a lens. Now, one important thing is here, you just remember it. The focal length of a convex lens is taken as positive always, while that of concave lens is taken as negative. So if you like my video, then like it, subscribe, press the bell icon, stay safe, stay healthy. Learn physics with my YouTube channel by staying at home. Thank you and have a nice day.